Welcome to Oz Notes, and today we will be covering the life and writing of Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift was born in Dublin, Ireland on November 30th, 1667. His father died 2 months before his birth. Swift suffered from Meniere's disease, a condition of the inner ear that leaves the afflicted hard of hearing and nauseous. In order to give her son a better life, Swift's mother gave him over to Godwin Swift, her late husband's brother. Swift was enrolled in Kilkenny Grammar School from 1674 to 1682. This school was arguably the best school in Ireland at the time. Swift had a hard time transitioning from a life of poverty to a rigorous private school setting. He quickly made a friend in William Congreve, who made the transition easier. Congreve would grow up to become a poet and a playwright. At age 14, Swift continued his education at Trinity College in Dublin, where he received a Bachelor of the Arts degree in 1688. As the Glorious Revolution of 1688 was beginning, Swift stopped his graduate studies and moved to England. For the next 10 years, Swift worked as an assistant to Sir William Temple in Surrey's Moor Park. Temple, impressed with Swift's abilities, entrusted him with several important and sensitive tasks. During this time, Swift had a relationship with Ethel Johnson, the daughter of Temple's housekeeper. When they first met, she was 8 years old, and Swift was 23. Swift acted as her mentor in her younger years, and then when she was of age, they made a close but confusing relationship. It is rumored that they married in 1716 and that Swift always had a lock of her hair at all times. Also during his decade of work for Temple, Swift returned to Ireland twice, and on one of the trips he took all of the necessary requirements to become an Anglican priest. Temple urged Swift to write essays and manuscripts, but Temple died in 1699. Swift completed the task of editing and publishing Temple's memoirs, despite the dispute of many of Temple's family members. Swift then became the minister for a small congregation 20 miles outside of Dublin, where he published his first political pamphlet, A Discourse in Contests and Dissensions in Athens and Rome. In 1704, he anonymously published A Tale of a Tub and the Battle of the Brooks. Although widely popular, it was disapproved by the Church of England because it criticized religion. He became famous in London, and when the Tories came to power in 1710, they asked him to be the editor of their official paper, Examiner. Swift became fully immersed in politics and wrote some of the most cutting and well-known political pamphlets, such as The Conduct of the Allies, which was an attack on the Whigs. When Swift first saw the fall of the Tories, he moved back to Ireland, where he became the dean at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin. There it is said that he engaged in romantic relationships with Ethel Van Humrig and Anne Long. During this time, Swift wrote some of his best-known works. In 1726, Swift anonymously published Travels into Several Remote Nations of the World in 4 parts by Lemuel Gulliver, first surgeon and then a captain of several ships, also known as Gulliver's Travels. Not long after, Ethel Johnson fell ill and died in January 1728. In response, he wrote The Death of Mrs. Johnson. This death was the first in a stream of deaths of Swift's other friends, including John Gay and John Arbuthnot. Swift, usually bolstered by his friends, became troubled. In 1742, Swift suffered a stroke and was no longer able to speak. He died on October 19, 1745, and he was laid to rest inside St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin next to Ethel Johnson.